Hello, أهلا وسهلا يا شباب. Hello guys and girls. Welcome to part 3 and the final video to this tutorial series. So in the previous video, as you might remember, we created a Docker container with a volume to show when the host machine is turned off, or even if the Docker container is removed, data still exists in there. And today I want to show how to achieve the same thing with Docker Compose, because it's not feasible to write such comments every time in the terminal. So you want to use a dedicated file to spin up your services, so on and so forth, especially when you have architecture which relies on resilience, and in a distributed system where we have multiple, for instance, multiple backend services, multiple web services. Yes, actually, most likely we'll have one web service and multiple backend services, but yeah. Nonetheless, make sure you have Docker Desktop again. You start Docker Desktop. None of the containers should run. Also check it in the terminal. Now what we are doing is to create a Docker Compose file. Docker minus compose dot YAML file dot YML touch. I would highly suggest to do this now with an editor, not with Vim or so, not in a terminal, because for instance, Visual Studio Code um, offers you some syntax highlighting and some autocomplete or suggestions. What is comes very in handy when you are dealing with YAML files, because the alignment of the file should be properly, otherwise YAML will not work. So let's get started. Version 3.8. Now we have the services. We'll define a DB service. Also make sure you're using uh, tab, the tab, so to align everything properly. So DB tab image. We will use, as you see, Postgres 13 image. Postgres 13. We have here on the same height, I would say, an environment. Here we have the default environment variable. Wait a second. Oh gosh. Postgres underscore DB. And this should be a colon in here, and this should be with pressing the tab key. Okay, Postgres DB. I think it was my dev database. Could it be? I guess so. Dev user. I will look this Postgres database. I mean, we can do here my database. Should create a new database for us. Let's do my database. Just copy it. And here we'll use user. Here we will have a password. And here is password. Oh, gosh, why I did this? No, it's password. And okay, now we define the volumes. Volumes. We had pg underscore data. Let's use it again. Or I think we can also use db. We can use create a new volume, db underscore data slash var slash lib slash pause. Make sure you don't have any typos in here. PostgreSQL slash data. Here we can run a comment named volume. Next, we have a second service. Let's call it web app. We can use an image from Docker Hub. I think there's a image called, what is the image called? Adminer. Okay. Adminer. As you can see, I don't have an image adminer here. It will pull it. It should pull it. Adminer. Now we define the ports. So ports will be on the source, on the Docker container 8080, on our machine, on the host machine also 8080. First is for Docker, second is for a local computer here. Yeah. And then we can define depends on db. And that's basically it, I would say. Of course, we also have to define the volumes in here. Volumes, we can say volumes tabulator db data curly braces. Also add here comment and say defined named volume. That's it. Let me just check version 3.8 services db Postgres 13. The Postgres db is my database. User password. Okay. db underscore data. Or the PostgreSQL. Okay. Image adminer. Okay. I hope I didn't add any typos. Should be good. Let's save it. Okay. Back to the terminal. As you can see, docker ps nothing runs, and if you do docker compose -v, oh god, okay, we have, was it minus version, okay, anyways, should be okay. I want to just look up the version. What's was it -v? Okay, yes, doesn't matter. Let's do a docker compose. I mean, we have here the docker compose file. I'm in my home directory. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Here we have it in my home directory. Now let's clear this again. Docker compose up -d. Let's see if we without any mistake. db pulling version attribute versions obsolete. Okay, as you can see, it pulled some stuff. db is pulled. Web app, the add miner will be pulled now, as you can see. Will take a bit. Will take a bit. Okay. Okay, PS. Yes, two containers are running, as you can see here. Running. Also Docker desktop. Add miner got added. We can also see the volumes. I forgot totally about this, about the created volumes. Totally forgot about this. Okay, containers are also running. Okay, here we have now, nice, we have two containers running. DB and web app, nice. Okay, what are we doing now? Let's connect to this stuff. Let me just, again, let me just clear the screen. Docker exec minus interactive terminal. Then we pass some stuff in here. So $, $sign. Wait a second. So $, parentheses docker, and inside parentheses docker ps minus qf. Name of the service we wanna use, name equals to db, not plus, equals db. And then usual stuff, psql minus user minus u, uppercase u, user minus d for my database. Yeah, okay. I think this looks good. Okay, and we are in the my database. Now let's create some stuff in here, create a table in the database. Create table. Again, we need an ID. Postgres should be always ID serial primary key. Now with the comma, we have other column. Name, again, text. And here with the semicolon, we end the statement. But I think I have a create table. Yes, create table, and I forgot the name of the table. Let's call it, I don't know, item. Let's call it my underscore item. ID serial primary key name text. Okay. I think with backslash and dt we can see the tables. Yeah, here we have the table. Owner is user, my item, here we have the table. Backslash dt to show the tables. You can also do, I don't know, again, like user, for instance, what we had. Dev underscore user. Dev underscore user. dt. Now we have a second table. And now let's insert some data. Insert into, let's call it to my item. Now we will put some stuff into name. my items, values, uh, my items. Let's take, I don't know, my items are notebook. Mm, what could be else? Notebook, charger, and something else, I don't know, a mouse. Okay, that's it. Now we do a select from. Uh, asterisk select from my underscore item. Notebook charger mouse. That's fantastic. Looks good, I would say. Now let's leave this psql terminal clear. Now we can use docker compose and down. As you can see, everything got removed. Docker ps, nothing is here. Also in the UI, nothing is here running. As you can see, nothing runs. And yes, as you can see, everything got removed. The containers got removed. Nothing is here anymore. We had here one container from Habibi coding, which had inside uh, two child containers. Nothing is here. So we can again start everything. Docker compose up -d. Everything got started. Yes, as you can see, everything is running. Docker ps, everything is running. That's great. Now let's use the same command before. Let's press on the up key. Yes, this was the command. List all the tables. Two tables are there. Now let's do again. Here we don't have a history anymore because the containers got removed. Select from my underscore item. And there we have the three items that I created before, and as you can see, it works. So the data got persisted. That's the power of Docker volumes. Without them, data disappears when the container is removed. With volumes, your data is safely stored outside the container and can survive restarts. And Docker Compose makes it super easy to manage these setups. So I want to all thank you for watching. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. And yeah, if you are interested in other stuff regards development, check out also my paid. I have currently only one paid course. You just have to go on my website. And yes, here on my website, you can go on buy pro courses. And here one of my courses where I also explain this stuff with Docker. You can check it out. And yes, this would also help me to further facilitate such videos. So I hope you liked the video. You know the drill, comment, like, subscribe, and see you in the next one. إلى اللقاء يا شباب.